Hello, everyone. I am currently melting in my apartment.
Hello, everyone. I'm currently freezing in my apartment.
I know it's completely opposite. Right now, I obviously don't have my air conditioning on because I just came back from work and I wanted to record. So it's 30 degrees Celsius in my apartment right now with 50% humidity. So it's a perfect combination
It's
for me to
it's
relax in.
9 degrees here, but because it's raining and so windy.
Like typical, like that's typical for where you live,
Yeah,
like
typical
the
New
weather
Zealand
wise.
weather for winter. So it says it's 9 degrees, but it feels like 4.
Yeah, because wind chill, which I have very good experience with wind chill where I live as well.
Yeah, it's soup's cold.
Yeah. So today I think we want to talk about a topic that's a bit more lighthearted. Well, we don't know. I don't know where this conversation will eventually go. But we want to talk about some like new or old like movies and shows that we watched and just some of them that we would recommend that people would see if they haven't seen it yet,
It's
obviously.
my top favorite movies in this world.
Sophia is very passionate about this topic. So I think we'll let Sophia talk first because I think I still have to think of my answers.
Are we going from bottom to top or top to bottom?
uh, let's go bottom to top.
Okay, so this kind of movie has to be like if you could only watch these movies for the rest of your life.
Why is it you only have to do for the rest of your life? The episode we recorded for if you only could eat two things for the rest of your life, and you had to choose two, and now you're like, if you could only watch three or four movies for the rest of your life, what would you watch? Why is everything to the rest of your life? Do you like think you're
Maybe
gonna
I'll
live a
make
short
it
life and you don't
easier
have
for
much
you.
time?
Maybe I'll make it easier for you and we won't do it a movie. If you have like a series or something, I'll count that as one.
Okay, fine. Okay, that makes it a bit easier.
Okay?
Sounds good. Yep.
Okay. Number 5.
Oh, five. I have to make a five. Okay.
Okay, we won't go from 5 then. We'll just go until we get to our favorite ones. Okay.
Yeah.
Um
Yeah.
I think Harry Potter series.
You love Harry Potter. I'm not the biggest fan of Harry Potter.
Wait, does Fantastic Beasts series count in Harry Potter series, or should we
I
keep
think
them?
it would.
Okay, then it's more better
It's
for
still
me.
in the same realm, so I would keep
Oh,
it
are we
the
going
same.
by realms now? Okay.
Well, it seems like it, right? Because they're still connected in a way, so I would still count it.
I really liked Fantastic Beasts. I'm not sure if everyone did, but I thought the animals there were super cute.
I so did. I've watched both movies, and I think both were so, in my
Sally
opinion.
watched the second movie because I literally forced feeded it down her throat because she would not watch it, and she was on lockdown when she had all the time in the world. So
Yeah,
I had to force feed it down her
like
throat.
I think it was because it was also finally available on Netflix, so I could just watch it with better quality. So I was like, okay, fine, I'll watch it after it's been released for like over a year or something.
I told her she didn't have a
Um,
choice if it was on Netflix. It's not like she had to go look for it. I was spoon feeding
yeah,
it to
I
her.
literally had no excuse.
Nope, no excuse.
So I was like, okay, fine. Yeah, for me, it was fun. Like, it wasn't horrible, but it wouldn't be like in my top
Yeah.
list of movies.
What's yours?
Um, I think for me, like the bottom of my tiers would be the Toy Story series. Because there is that thing where it kind of gets weird in number four, but I just love number two. Like number two out of all four movies was the
Okay.
best for me. Because the first one had that weird, creepy baby head with a spider metal
It's
body, which
that
like
boy, the
traumatized me
next
since.
door boy.
Yeah, yeah, that creeped me
Okay,
out. I
I'm
can't
just.
even.
I have a memory with Toy Story, which is why I'm kind of a bit traumatized with the film.
I think it's the thing that I'm talking about, the spider baby doll.
Okay, so Toy Story number 1
Yes,
came out in
yes,
1995.
yes.
So that was like the first film kind of thing where mom and like her friends when we were young in Korea, they took us to the movie theater to see.
I
You
wasn't
weren't
born. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it was my first experience in a movie theater.
Oh,
And it
yeah.
was that kind of drama, like a movie on a big screen.
Like the big screen,
And
yeah.
I think I was traumatized by all
The
like the
spider baby.
weirdo things in there. The only
Yep.
thing,
The first one was creepy.
the
Not gonna
only
lie.
part I like about Toy Story in general is in Toy Story 2 when they clean up Woody, like they like repaint his
That's so
shoe and
satisfying.
like
His shining his
shining his
eyeball.
eyeball, like the squeegee eyeball. That's my
And
favorite scene.
the one thing I love about Toy Story 2 is at the end of the movie, they have the Toy Story bloopers.
Oh
So it
yeah.
made it look like the toys were acting,
Yeah.
and I feel like that just added another element of, oh, like kids would actually believe this was possible because you have like bloopers of them acting or like making mistakes.
Yeah.
But that's why the Harry Potter series, it's the same thing that was like traumatizing for me, is when I watched the Philosopher's Stone, when that guy unwrapped his turban and he had a head on the
Oh my
back of his
gosh.
head.
Yeah, that was pretty traumatic.
That was the scariest thing I've seen. And then his head, like, like floats like it's a freaking ghost and it flies around.
If you think about that,
That's why.
if they made that movie now, it would have been so controversial. Like the first movie
Yeah.
with the turban thing, that would have been so controversial. But I don't think it was
Yeah.
as controversial then, or maybe we don't know because I was only
No,
7.
it was just, but that's the one scene that's so traumatizing that I still can't watch number 1 if I watched it now.
When they had the whole Harry Potter series on Netflix. When
Did you watch all of it?
Of course I did. If they're together, I will watch it. Who will not watch it? Okay, it's like if maybe just like 3, 4, 5 were there, maybe I'd be like, man, I don't really want to watch it. But then
because that's odd.
Yeah, because if one from everything's there, of course I'm gonna watch the whole thing. I'll sit there for like 24 hours to watch it.
Cannot relate.
I think when we first moved to New Zealand, we didn't get the Wi-Fi set up at our home yet.
Yeah.
So we had the TV, and Harley had like a external hard disk with movies.
Yeah.
And he had all the Harry Potter in there because he knows I like it. So when we first moved with no Wi-Fi,
You just binge watch.
he doesn't really like Harry Potter, but I forced him to watch it with me. I'm like,
the thing is, like, if I get forced to watch it, I won't like deter from it, but like I don't voluntarily watch it on my own.
anyways, he didn't have anything to do. There's no Wi-Fi. He had to watch it.
Yeah, exactly. So you literally had no choice.
With...
Cannot. Okay, so what would you say is something that's a bit higher than Harry Potter?
Wait, what was your second one? You didn't tell me your second one.
I told you Toy Story.
Oh, what was your first one?
No, we only did one each, bro.
Oh, whoopsies. Okay.
What the heck?
Okay.
I was like, excuse me, woman.
Let's be honest. You've been awake the whole day right now. I just rolled out of bed. It's 9 o'clock in the morning.
True. For me, I've been awake for almost 12 hours now.
You know, I actually took a nap again yesterday.
I had a slice of cake on my way home.
Oh, yum.
So I have a bit of blood sugar.
That's why you're so hyper.
It was a really small slice, but my supervisor
like a
made
sliver of a cake?
No, it was like a cube.
Oh, cube. Oh.
Like those cube cuts. But she made like a rhubarb cake and it was really good.
Yum, yum, yum.
With like crumble on top. So I've had some energy on my way home.
I'm super sad they don't sell pecan pie here.
I love pecan pie.
Pecan pie. I can't find it.
Okay. Your next series or movie?
I'm thinking maybe the MCU.
That is iconic. That is ow!
Okay. I'm not even phased at this point.
That is like one kind of series that I've dedicated to watching like all the movies.
You
for.
probably agree
so I would say,
with me on this one.
Yeah, I do agree because I love the Marvel movies. I'm finally glad that the second Spider-Man movie is on Netflix now, so I can actually watch it over the weekend. Because I watched Homecoming, but I haven't watched the second one that came out.
Oh, the one with, is it Mystique? No, not
like Far From Home or something.
Yeah, it's
but
the one
I haven't.
It's the blue. It's a green guy. It's a green dude.
Yeah, I haven't watched that one, so I have to watch it. But I can't. Every time I rewatch the one scene in Endgame where you see all the people come back, it gives me like goosebumps every time. Like I like relive that thrill
It
every
sends
time I
like
watch
little
that scene.
chills down my
Yeah,
rib
it's
cage.
like the two scenes that I'm talking about is when Captain America says Avengers Assemble, when he catches the hammer. And then the second one is when all the female characters kind of make an entrance together.
Yeah.
So I feel like we need more female representation. I did really appreciate that moment where they kind of emphasized, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
the importance of the female superheroes
Yeah,
in the Marvel
yeah.
universe. So I really did appreciate that they dedicated like one whole scene to show that. Um, but the Avengers movies, like all the Marvel movies except like some of them, but majority of them I do enjoy
Yeah.
from the Marvel series.
Not trying to start a war, but I prefer
Uh oh.
Marvel over DC.
Oh, I
Just
don't like DC.
because I didn't grow up reading the cartoons like the for DC,
Yeah.
and for me I feel like DC is very dark.
They also, the thing that I've noticed with DC, I don't know if I'm going to get hate for this, but if you watch Marvel movies, you really see character development.
Mm.
You see how people like progress and how they're feeling or why they're acting a certain way. You can see that because they develop the character very well.
Yeah.
I feel like DC, they focus more on the plot. So some characters, you're lacking their background and you don't know why they're doing certain stuff because you don't really understand them as a character.
Yeah.
So I think that's like the major difference between DC and Marvel.
The only DC I like is Aquaman,
I haven't watched that.
only with Jason Momoa. That's it.
I didn't watch it.
Well, you should watch it.
But yeah, like I think that's the major difference that I feel between DC and Marvel, which is why I prefer Marvel because they really focus on the character.
Yeah, I
That way, it's more relatable when you watch the movie.
and also I feel like it's a little bit more lighthearted. There's more of a comedic side to it. Yeah.
Like Thor Ragnarok had a lot of comedic like effects,
Yeah,
and
it was
Deadpool had a
funny.
lot of comedic effects. Yeah, I do like Deadpool because he breaks the fourth wall. Like he interacts with the audience, and like that's very different, but it really suits the character, right? Like because you know the character is kind of like a nonsensical, dark humor
Yeah.
type of person. You expect that kind of stuff like to come out in the movie. So I do agree that Marvel, I would put Marvel in the same spot for me as well.
Yeah. So you don't have your one. It's just you took my one, is it?
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of one that I would put in that spot, and I think for me it would be the movie Coco.
I would put Coco a bit higher up.
Because I feel like I love Coco just because, well, first of all, they're expressing and they're portraying a different
I
culture,
cried
which is
too
always a
much.
nice. I watched that on a plane ride to Korea. The first 10 minutes I turned it on, and this couple who sat beside me just saw me cry for like 2 hours. So that was great first impression. Um, but like it's such a good movie because it really emphasizes like culture, right?
Yeah. And family.
It really emphasizes culture and family, and I just feel like just that combination. It was executed so well. The whole movie was executed so well. The graphics, like the animations, like were amazing. The songs were so good. Like I never really doubt like Disney or Pixar to make good movies. Like they're usually really good. But Coco really like I think like majority of Pixar movies, it like tugs at your heartstrings,
Yeah.
which is why it's such a good movie.
I was very smart.
So I would
watched Coco at home.
I was not smart
But
and watched
Harley
it on the
laughed
plane.
at me through the whole movie because I was just in tears the whole movie. I don't even know how I saw the screen because my
I laughed at you when you cried when Bing Bong died in Inside Out.
okay, that is a real moment there. Excuse me.
But yeah, like I think I would put Coco there for me
That's
in that spot.
that's a good one. I like Coco. I would have
It
put it
is.
a little bit higher up, I feel, but I can accept that.
Okay, what would you put on top of Marvel?
Not because I've watched the series recently, but probably the Fast and Furious.
I cannot comment because I've never watched any of the Fast and Furious movies,
Sally's boring.
so I can't. I am not boring, okay?
Okay,
It's just people don't die enough in those movies.
I don't want to be a spoiler, and no offense to the movie, because I thought the movie was like, oh, it's Fast and Furious, but this
Yeah.
was literally the most bat stupidest movie I've ever seen for a while now.
Their movies are crazy. Like it's literally physically
You
impossible some of
can
the stuff that they
you can
do.
cut it out if you think it's like a really big spoiler, but
Yeah.
they put a rocket on top of a car and went into space.
What?
Yeah, so if they make another movie, the Earth, they literally have to flatten the Earth.
They're gonna no, they're gonna have a Fast and Furious and the Martian crossover. They're gonna go to freaking Pluto and like colonize Pluto for something.
Yeah, I mean, like, I really. So the first movie came out in 2001 for Fast and Furious, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I just feel like it's a series that I've invested myself into too much that I can't just back out after 9 movies.
That's me with Marvel.
Yeah.
I've invested too much of my life. I have to contribute and watch all of it.
Yeah. And I think it's like a movie where me and Harley can kind of both enjoy, whether we think it's stupid, crazy, or not, because
Yeah.
it's just something me and Harley, while we were dating and while we were married, we watched a lot of Fast and Furious, like as it came out in theater. So
Yeah.
that's something we like. Harley doesn't really like Harry Potter. He just tolerates it because I watch it, and
Can relate. Yeah.
because he can't watch anything else, so he just has to sit there and watch it with me.
Makes sense.
Yeah, but Fast and Furious, I feel like I like that series a lot because I mean it is crazy with cars and everything. You do see like a lot of nice cars, but they have quite a big emphasis on like family.
Yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah.
So it's like batshit crazy with cars flying around, but family's important.
But we love each
Yeah.
other.
That's how it's working.
That's a very interesting weaving of events.
I know, but for me, I would still put it in my list. Oh, now we're saying series. There's so many series, huh?
I think the next movie that I would definitely say is in my like top whatever is the Into the Spider-Verse specifically.
What's Into the Spider-Verse?
So that's Spider-Man, but because there's like the existence of parallel universes, you see Spider-Mans from like different universes. So you have like one that's from like I think a bit like older in time because he comes into the universe as black and white. So he has like the mafia kind of, persona
Is that a
and stuff like
cartoon?
that.
Like an animation?
It's an anime.
Oh, I
yeah.
don't think I watched. I've seen it because I think there's like a
It's
girl,
so good.
right? There's like a girl.
Yeah, there's a girl one too.
And there's like multiple dudes. Yeah, I think I've seen it, the trailer, but I haven't watched it.
I haven't watched it for a while, but I've heard so much hype about it. I was like, okay, maybe I should actually sit down and watch this movie. And I watched it, and I would recommend it to everyone. That movie's very good.
Because for me, if I feel like Spider-Man or something, like Marvel or like DC, I think it's more fun to watch the actual human
That's what I
action.
thought. But from all the Spider-Man movies I've watched where it's actual like people movies and then Into the Spider-Verse, I prefer Into the Spider-Verse over the regular movies. So I would definitely recommend it to people if they haven't seen it. It's a very good movie.
I always tell Harley's, I don't know why, but for me, Spider-Man, it feels like it belongs to DC and not Marvel, kind of in a way, where I can't really link Spider-Man to Marvel. I can now because so many of the Marvel characters are going in and out to
Like,
Spider-Man
yeah.
movies. But maybe because it's made by Sony and it's
Yeah.
like a completely different film making thing, I feel like the way that it's like the old ones, yeah, not like the new
Like
ones.
they haven't linked it correctly, I feel
Like
like.
with the now Spider-Man, not him.
They
The
yeah,
before
like the older ones
Spider-Man,
like
yeah.
Andrew Garfield
It
and
kind of
yeah.
feels more DC-like vibes than it does Marvel vibes.
Yeah, because when I grew up watching all the older like Spider-Man
Yeah.
movies, I loved watching them when I was younger. But if you said that was not Marvel, people would believe it
Yeah,
because
maybe.
there is no way that the older movies were ever linked to anything else.
Yeah. I
Like there's no interconnection.
Yeah, because I think
So
they
that's
sold
why
off Spider-Man to Sony, right? Because they were in debt or something.
I have
I
no
don't know.
clue.
I'm
But
not
yeah, like
very.
definitely like there isn't a good connection built between Spider-Man and the other Marvel people. So I feel like if you told someone it wasn't Marvel, they could actually believe it. Well,
Yeah.
the older movies because it was no way connected.
I feel like we don't
Yeah.
really overlap in our movies.
Well, you and I have also very different taste in movies.
Who would think we're sisters, eh?
Very different.
Okay. I'm thinking it's my turn, isn't it?
Yes.
I was gonna say Frozen 2, but I really can't think if there's something that would top Frozen 2 for me after. But I can't think of another movie beside Frozen 2. But I personally like Frozen 2 more than Frozen 1.
Same.
I mean, Frozen
Stupid Hans.
1 was good. I love
But 2
Frozen
is
1,
better.
but I love 2. Not good for the parents whose kids want all of the clothes from Frozen 1 and 2.
Oh
But
Lord, yeah, they had so many
in
outfits.
Frozen 2, they had so many outfits.
Oh Lord.
But I feel like Frozen 2 was
The
nice.
part that I loved from Frozen 2 was when Kristoff had that MTV music video moment.
Yeah,
With the
the reindeer was
with
fed.
like you see his pan like to his face, but in the background there's like a blurry face of him from a different angle where they
It's like
combined
those
into one
90s
scene.
music videos that we see.
And
That's so
that's why I was like,
funny.
it gave me MTV like music video vibes. Like that was the one moment that was so funny
Yeah,
that it was so good. That scene in particular was so good.
I don't know. I feel like Frozen
Really enjoyed it.
2 was so detailed as well, especially like the
I love the
graphics.
fact that they put the emphasis of like the water having memories because you know in the first movie, like spoiler alert if you haven't seen it, their parents are dead. So like you really wonder like what happened because there's no closure. The movie doesn't show what happens to them, right? It just shows like their boat sinking, but you actually have no confirmed like fact like if they're gone or not. And the fact that you get closure from that situation in the second movie, it that's why I think it's like tying the bow at the top of a present. You really get to just finish everything and understand, get closure for all the components. So you finally understand like how Elsa got her powers, right? Because you're thinking like why doesn't Anna have powers or whatever. Like you figure out like why she has that, and you figure out like the actual what happened to her parents.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's such a good movie that they made to kind of like seal off the story. I think it was a very good execution on that part. And the songs were obviously very good.
Yeah. Songs are really good. I really like Frozen songs in general. Maybe I should put Frozen in general instead of Frozen 2, but I really like Frozen 2. But
I really like Frozen too.
fact about me,
Oh,
I cry
what's this fact?
in every single movie.
Yeah, Sophia tends to be more emotional in movies than I am.
It's not even if it's like a comedy movie. If there's like one scene that's worthy of crying, I'll cry.
Yeah.
And Harley always laughs at me because I cry in every movie. He's like,
Yeah,
why are
you
you even crying? It's not even sad. I'm like, I don't know. And I'm like, bawling.
You can just say, Harley, you freaking unemotional monster.
Ice monster.
But yeah, I think you do tend to cry more.
It's not I do tend
than
to
I do.
cry. I cry in
You
every
always
single
cry.
movie. Fact.
Okay. Okay. So
Maybe
for
I
me,
haven't cried in Harry Potter movie, but that's because there's nowhere to cry in a Harry Potter movie.
You probably cried of fear once. Maybe when you saw the turban guy.
Maybe when Cedric died. Oh no, when Sirius died. I think I cried when Sirius died.
Oh, Sirius dying was
I'm pretty
sad.
sure I cried there. Never mind, I cried in the Harry Potter movie.
You probably
Moving
did.
on.
The next movie I would put is I feel like we both have to put this on somewhere is Moana.
Oh, yes. I love water.
Moana is such a good movie. I just like movies in general that are female leads because I feel like we don't see that enough in the movie industry. And the fact that it's like the Frozen thing, like I need no man to do my stuff. Like she can do everything on her own, So I love it. I obviously all the Pixar movies now, the graphics are amazing, like they're top quality. But I just love because for Moana, you really see a journey. You see her
Yeah.
go through stuff, and you see her like develop and grow up and learn to deal with actual real life problems,
Yeah.
like her grandmother passing away and her village, like not having enough food. So she's like going out of her way, despite what her parents think are the safest. She like rebels and does stuff that she feels passion for. So I feel like it is kind of also giving kids a good message as well. Like, yeah, like, don't like just like leave your house. That's a bad idea. But like figuring out what your passions are and, really pursuing what they are, I think that's always a good message to enforce to kids.
I cried in Moana too.
I know you did. Sophia, I think there should be a list of what movies you do not cry to. That might be shorter.
I don't know if I can find some, to be fair. I think I've cried in all the movies I saw recently. Sometimes I just
Oh,
watch
Lord.
like a sad movie at home just to cry.
Why would you do that? Your eyelids
Because
are like all swollen the
sometimes
next day.
You just
You need a good cry.
to cry and let it go.
That's true. When you have so much pent up emotion, you just gotta release it sometimes.
Yeah.
And all I gotta do is watch freaking animal rescue videos and the waterworks start coming down.
Oh my god.
But yeah. Okay. I put Moana.
I think I have to put this in here for nostalgia reasons. Because The Princess Diaries.
Oh! They're so good!
Yeah, I have to put it in there, even though I haven't watched it in a while. But that's like a real like childhood movie that we grew up
Princess
watching.
of Genovia. I loved those movies. It's such a childhood like classic movie.
Yeah, so I have to put it in there.
That is good.
Yeah.
That is good.
Princess Diaries was like kind of like a real life version of Cinderella.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, I can see that.
And it's a real nostalgia thing. And I mean, Anne Hathaway's beautiful, but it kind of showed in the movie that beauty isn't everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's definitely.
I think
on
that
my
really
list.
shows in the second movie
Yeah.
too. Because the first movie you see her transition, so you can kind of see like, oh yeah, looks kind of play a part. But in the second movie, I think she's already in that form where she left
Yeah.
from movie number one, and you really see it's her passion and her love for the country that really drives it forward.
Which is your kind of like girl power movie too.
Exactly. That's why I really did enjoy the second movie as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, Princess Diaries, I haven't even thought of that, but Princess Diaries definitely
Yeah, it
is
just popped in my head.
top tier movie, I
Yeah.
would say.
Do you have anything else?
For me, so this is the most recent movie I watched, and
It'll
I would
really show us how caught up to date you are with your movies.
it's the movie Soul from Pixar.
Oh, okay.
Um,
That's the most
I
recent
watched-
movie you saw? Oh my god, poor you.
what was the most recent movie you watched?
Fast and Furious, it just came out this month.
Oh, true. Sorry, the movie theaters are closed here.
It's not closed here.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I think the reason why I loved Soul, and it was really relatable, is that I watched it, I think, when I was unemployed. So I was like, and the whole main plot line of the movie is what's your purpose in life and what's your spark that pushes you to live your life the fullest. And I thought, like, wow, like, I'm literally doing nothing because I'm freaking unemployed. But it made me reflect, like, what is it that I want to do? What is, like, my passion? What is something that I can do forever for the rest of my life and say, I didn't waste this lifeline, Because it does show, like, spoiler alert if you haven't seen it, but the guy, like, dies as soon as he gets, like, good news. So you really don't know when your life on this earth is going to end. So it really, like, I think it motivates you to live your life to the fullest and pursue your passions, which I really did love that the overall message was that. So that's why I really do appreciate that movie. Like, I think it's a really well executed plan, and it touches on something that I feel like a lot of people probably have gone through in their life.
I think that movie came out in the right time. It was a good movie.
Yeah, I think it really probably was relatable with a lot of people. Because, like Moana, it's such a good movie, but you can't relate to it. You can't be put in the same position and be like, yeah, I would do that. Because, no, we are not sailing boats in the middle of the ocean with one crazy chicken and a demigod, okay? Like, it's a completely different scenario. But, like, for Soul, you can actually relate with the stuff that the characters are going through, and I think that's why I loved it so much, because it's so close to what people actually go through in real life.
That's true.
So I think that's why I really enjoyed that movie.
Yeah, that was a really good movie, and I liked it too because I watched it as well. I'm probably gonna talk about one last movie. We already did touch on it, but I have to put Inside Out inside my list.
The freaking broccoli pizza.
Okay, so apparently
it's different.
Yeah, depending on which country it was, the pizza was different. But in general, I liked Inside Out because I felt like what was going through inside the head, like those what kind of memories are those called?
Core memories.
The core memories. It can't be just one emotion. It's all a mixture have of to emotions. Like mix, and I cried so much in that movie, but then
I think I also emphasized with that movie was because when we were young, we moved a lot too.
Yeah.
So I think that was relatable in the sense that when you move, yeah, you can keep in contact with like people, but you eventually fade away.
Yeah.
Especially because you're so young. It's not like I moved to, like to college or whatever.
Yeah.
But like if you're moving when you're young, it's somewhat a traumatic experience because you have to readjust to new people, to new environments. And it's very stressful, obviously, for the parents, but for the kids themselves. So when she was having all those conflicting thoughts, well, obviously, Joy was kind of gone. So she was, like, screwed over by the other emotions. But, like, the fact of, like, wanting to run away or wanting to run back to where they initially lived, I think, like, that's something that I probably had felt when I was younger. So I feel like that's, in a way, very relatable for us.
Yeah.
But I just love the fact that different, if you notice this, different emotions were the leaders of different people. So if you saw the dad, the person who was in charge was anger, right? He was the one in charge. While if you saw the mom, I think it was like someone else, I can't remember. But like everyone has different like initial driving forces, and that like it really puts the emphasis that it's a combination. Like all your emotions have to work together, because if one doesn't exist, that's when you really start to feel not great.
Yeah.
Which is obviously what Riley felt at the end when she had no joy in her life. So I feel like they did such a good job of emphasizing the importance of emotion, but also like mixing emotions. Like you get those like, melancholy feelings or like bittersweet moments where it's a mixture of like happiness and sadness.
Yeah.
So I think they really did put a lot of thought into that movie, which I really do appreciate.
Joy's hair is blue is because you can't really have joy without sadness. That's why she's the only one that has a mixture of color.
Yeah, that's why I think sadness and joy had the same color. It's because those two emotions are very well connected.
Yeah. But I
But yeah,
feel
like
like they
that.
had so many funny moments in the movie too. Like,
Hmm.
Riley's
The
crush.
Riley,
It's like,
the boyfriend, the
it's like
generator. I would die for
for
Riley.
Riley, and then everyone like
They
starts
all
jumping
topple
into the
over.
thing, and that's so funny.
Oh my god. And then another moment I think that I liked was when Sadness was like chasing through, the other parts
Yeah,
of the brain. She would like sit on the floating cloud and cry,
yeah,
and then the cloud would rain like while she
yeah,
was moving. They had like French fry land or
yeah,
whatever. But like I really did like they put so much thought and detail. Like I think into like the psychology of emotions as well
yeah. I think,
into the
yeah,
movie.
Inside Out was a really good movie. I would put it on my list for sure.
Yeah, I think we watched that movie first in the
Yeah.
theaters.
Oh, this list is
Yeah,
getting
but
really long because as I think more, there's more movies I want to put on my list.
I don't know if I would have more movies to put on mine.
We're probably gonna like finish recording this one and then we're gonna be like, oh, we should have put that movie in.
Well, yeah, like, but I feel like for me, I'm pretty good with the
Content
list
with
that
the
I've
list that
said.
you've
I'm
made.
content. Yes, I'm very content.
Yeah, as long as I have the movies that I mentioned now, it should be okay. Because we're not talking about like TV series. Because it's
Yeah.
movies, I feel like that's enough.
Hmm. Yeah, I think that list. It's a good mixture of both of us too.
Yeah. Are we sharing the list now?
I guess.
I thought we were gonna have yours and my list, but it kind of clouded to one.
But like we do have somewhat similar tastes in movies. Like the movies that I enjoy, if you watch it, you tend to enjoy it as well.
Yeah,
So I think like that's why it's a lot of them do overlap.
and I prefer watching the same movie over and over for some reason, rather than just
It's a
constantly
safety blanket because you know
looking
how
for
it's gonna
new
end.
movies.
Yeah.
But we have some news, don't we?
But yes, we do have some news. So ever since I started working, I have to adjust to a new schedule of working and being able to record, and only being able to record when obviously both of us are free. But it's still at the point where I haven't fully adjusted to that schedule yet because I'm still spending a lot of time at work learning stuff and doing stuff where my focus isn't 100% onto, not even like, not 100%, but like a lot of my thoughts aren't onto the podcast. And it's a bit tiring for me at this moment.
And
So
plus,
we've
we want
decided,
to think of more content to put out there. We want to
yeah,
do some more interesting things, and we don't want to be like every week or every few weeks, be like, oh, like we need to think of topics like that. We really want to have some topics set for us to record and really
yeah,
put more content out there. So we decided that because this is our 34th episode, we
yes.
felt like it's a good time to kind of think of this as a season and
Mm-hmm.
kind of do this as like a season finale. And hopefully, once
Yes.
Sally's settled in and we have more good content that we really want to record and upload, we'll start a season 2 for the podcast.
Yeah, I think just having a break would do both of us good because now both of us work full time and not always are our days off aligned. So it's hard for us to find time because my work schedule is also like sometimes inconsistent. So it is very difficult just because there's a big time difference on both of our ends. Um, so we thought it'd be a good time just to take a break and give our like mental state a break as well, just so that if we agree to continue the recordings like later on, that we're not like brain dead in a way.
If you think about
So
it,
I thought,
34 episode is more than half a year.
yeah, because we released one like every week. But I think another option that might be viable is we release one every 2 weeks. That way we're not crammed for releasing it every week, so we don't need as much topics, but we're still releasing content. So I feel like that would also be a possibility of something that we could do.
But still, we'll leave this one as a season finale. And even though we decide to do one every 2 weeks like that, we will probably take some time, come up with more content and record first before we start uploading again. But all of our podcasts will probably slowly start disappearing from Spotify, but it's all on YouTube.
Because we ain't paying the money to keep it on Spotify.
But every episode is on YouTube, and it'll always be on YouTube, so everyone can go watch it.
So it doesn't disappear off of YouTube. So
it's there forever,
if you don't have
guys.
Spotify or Apple Podcasts, you can still find it there. So don't worry, I will keep them on the YouTube websites.
Yeah, but thanks everyone. And Sally needs to maintain Twitter because she made it, so that's her responsibility.
Oh yeah, but yeah, I think a break would be good for both of us because we're doing all of this like after our jobs too, so it is obviously a bit more time consuming than when I was unemployed because then I had so much free time.
Maybe there'll be a time that comes when we can just do podcasts.
Oh my god. I don't even want to think about filing taxes when you're self-employed. That's already scary.
But I
don't even want to think about that.
Thank you to everyone who's been super supportive throughout the whole thing. Especially our mom. She loves to listen to our podcast.
I think she likes it because we talk about different aspects that would never come up just in normal conversation.
Yeah, it kind of feels like she's peeking into our lives, and I think she enjoys that.
Like, when we talk about, like, childhood memories and stuff, like, it's not something that we would think on a regular basis, but, like, it's a good thing to, like, you know, flash back to and think about. So I think this podcast gave us a lot to just reflect and kind of appreciate everything that we've gone through and everything that we've experienced. It really, I think, it really lets us appreciate what experiences we've got to have. So I do appreciate that we actually started this podcast.
On a whim.
On a whim, yeah. We just were like, YOLO, and we just figured out how to upload podcasts, and then we just did it one day. But yeah, I really did enjoy all the times that we did, like, you know, talk about funny memories and stuff like that. But I'm hoping that a little brain refresh would be good for just planning out content as well and being more available to do recordings like this.
Yeah, so thank you everyone for listening to this season of Mixing Cultures. And hopefully we'll be able to come back soon with new and more refreshed content.
Yeah. Maybe in that time I'll make a new logo. Who knows?
Oh, whoa there. Just keep on.
You never know.
Just keep on doing your Twitter, okay? You made it. You keep it.
Oh, well, we'll see if that account survives. All right.
All right, everyone. Thanks for listening up until now. We hope we have a lovely morning, afternoon, or evening whenever you're watching this. And we will hopefully see you next time.
Yes, and when we do plan on coming back, I'll make sure I release a date so you guys know when to expect new episodes to come out.
All right, everyone.
Bye-bye
Bye.
for now.